Restoration. What is going on? It is Brian here. Welcome to another edition of The Leftovers. I didn't leave too many leftovers this time around, but there's always something more to eat, isn't there? We are talking about the last message that we just gave this last weekend, which was on Jesus fulfilling the law, not abolishing it, not destroying it, but to fulfill it. And when we look at this passage, and if you missed any of it, you can go back and check it out on Facebook or on YouTube. Watch the message there. But the thing that stuck out to me, sorry, that was weird. The thing that stuck out to me the most was when he says, I have not come to abolish them, but to fulfill them. In other translations, that's right in verse 17, in other translations, he says, I have not come to destroy, but to fulfill. And we talked about this a little bit on Sunday morning, that he comes to fulfill your life and not to destroy it, that we are meant to be living an abundant life. And that it's in his very nature to be a fulfiller. And one of our ministry partners over at Freedom Builders, one of our ministry partners is Freedom Builders, and I got to meet with Skip, the owner, just for coffee last week. And I didn't have enough time for the story. I wasn't really sure how it fit in, but I knew it needed to be shared on how Jesus fulfills as opposed to destroys. And I think that when we face culture, when we face society, when we face people around us, we feel like we need to hold them to a standard, this standard here, even if they don't believe what we believe. We feel like we need to be able to be the moral police for the world around us. And I don't know that that's necessarily what we should be doing. I think we should be living this for ourselves and pointing others to Jesus. But my friend Skip, he went to this house. And he was working on this house, and the guy that owned the house, or one of the guys that lived in the house, was a homosexual. He was a gay guy. And Skip had this conversation with him, and this guy had been told his entire life that he was going to hell, that there was no hope for him, that as long as he continues living in this sin, that there was going to be no hope. This guy was going to hell, hands down. No one would listen to him. No one would hear what he had to say. No one would give him the time of day. Everyone that he had come across that were Christians always pointed blame and always were destroying. And then Skip came along and had this conversation with him. And Skip simply said, you know what? God doesn't define us by our messes. He doesn't love us less in our messes. He loves us equally the same. Now, it's our responsibility to turn to him. But God's love continues to stay the same. Skip didn't come with answers. Skip he didn't know what he was going to say to this guy. Skip had no idea what he was going to say, how he was going to say it. He let love lead the way. And it made an impact in this man's life. To what extent, I don't really know. But for the first time in this guy's life, a Christian showed love and understanding and patience and mercy and grace towards him. Something that no one had done before. I don't know. I think, guys, that people will know us by our love, don't you? Rather than us thumping our Bibles and saying what's wrong with everybody, what's wrong with society, what's wrong with our country, why don't we focus on how we can love the person next to us? And then the next few weeks in this series of Mountain of a Message from a Mountain, we're going to be talking more and more about what that looks like to love the person next to you. Jesus goes into a long, lengthy part for the rest of chapter 5 on what this actually looks like. See, too many times we come and try to destroy and hope that that'll turn people's lives around. Like this guy that Skip knows. Instead, he said, you know what? I don't have all the answers. I don't know everything, but I know God loves you. That hasn't changed. So next several weeks, we're going to see how we live a fulfilled life through Jesus. And I wanted to take a moment. I read the news just like everybody else, and well, maybe not everybody else, but I read the news. I see what's going on, and especially here in Michigan, doesn't really make sense to focus on anywhere else. I know, number one, there's an election coming up next week, and so I want you guys just to be in prayer about who you're voting for. And I encourage you to vote the Bible and pray. Spend a lot of time this week in prayer over the candidates, over this country, and over your decisions. I'm sure it's not an easy decision for you. So spend some time in prayer in that. And then secondly, we're keeping an eye on all this COVID stuff. We're still keeping an eye on it. And I just want to reiterate, spend some time in saying, hey, listen, cases are climbing for whatever reason, because we're going inside. I don't know. But for whatever reason right now, I'm not going to get into conspiracy theories. I'm not going to get into what the doctors are saying, what people are not saying, any of that. I don't care. All I know is what's being reported, and what's being reported is that cases are rising. So we're just keeping a close eye on it, letting you guys know. We're still asking you guys to put on a mask when you come into Right Brain on Sunday mornings until you find your seat. If you have to get up from your seat to go do something else, you want to go talk to somebody else, just throw that mask on real quick, and that would be great. So you guys are doing great with that. So that's not like a dig on anyone. I see what's happening in the world, and I know that people are going to be even more and more uncomfortable. So put a mask on when you come into Right Brain. Once you get seated, you can take it off. So we love you guys. I love you. I don't know who the we is, but I would say everybody at Restoration. But you're a part of Restoration, and you are Restoration. So we will see you guys. We have women's stuff when you're seeing this tonight at 6:30 at Right Brain, and then at which is Wednesday, and then Thursday 6:30 at Right Brain for the guys. So, okay, bye.